Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, and today Jordan is traveling, so you've got a solo show with me today, and it is time for the pre-order of Mythic Legion's All-Star 6. So the window for that is rapidly approaching a close. It's going to be closing this Sunday. I believe that's at 11 at night Central Time, I believe. Make sure you double check. I'll pull it up here in just a second too to make sure we know what day it is. But we've got the pre-order for All-Star 6. I've got an idea of what I want to be pre-ordering. I've got Jordan's pre-order, pretty small. But I'm going to just talk it through with you guys and kind of show you how you pre-order your Mythic Legions. And then after I'm done with the pre-order direct, I'm going to show you how you can pre-order something maybe if you missed the deadline. So if you're watching this on Monday morning and you say, shoot, I missed it, how do I get these now? I'll show you where you can do that. It won't be exactly this wave because it won't be on those approved retailers yet, but you'll get the idea. So without any further ado, let's get into Source Horseman here. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what I see. The first Legion is Clavian. I'll kind of go through each one of these, whether I'm going to be pre-ordering or not, just so we can kind of talk about maybe what you need in your collection. Clavian is pretty cool. A red skeleton. He's one of the all-stars. If you go back and watch that video where I talked about Clavian when they first announced him, he was going pretty expensive in the aftermarket. I think he was easily over 150, maybe pushing into that $200 range sometimes. Comes with this kind of unique shield, a little bit beaten up. Unique colors, not quite the same as what we've got with the Furious 4 Pelvicus, but pretty similar. This one, he's going to be the one that we have to come back to last for me. I like him, but looking at his accessories, it's kind of light compared to what we're going to see here pretty soon. So for those reasons, I'm going to pass on him. And then real quick, let's go back to the home. Where does it say? Let's get back into Clavian. So these are available from June 2nd until July 9th at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So yes, I was right. 11 p.m. This Sunday is going to be the last day to pre-order from Source Horseman or from Store Horseman direct. You're going to get them a little bit cheaper, so it's $37 for a standard figure like Clavian here. And then once he goes to an approved retailer, and I'll get into those at the end of this show, he's going to move up to probably around $49.99, around $50. So something to keep in mind, whether you're going to order direct or through one of the approved retailers. All in, you can get everything for $4.95. Unfortunately, that's not in the budget, so we're going to have to pick and choose here. We've got these belt packs. Good for the customizers. Not necessarily something I need, but really $12, and you get quite a few belts in there. That's a pretty good deal. I think the easiest one we've got here is, what is his name? Baradak. So Baradak is my favorite in the wave. If you've been watching Strong Collectors for a while, it's no question we're going to be adding him to the cart. So he's got this huge sword and then a sweet looking shield. We've also got kind of the money shot there. If you remember from from Necronominus, Sir Oozjak was my favorite in that wave. He's going to be fighting Baradak. So then next up, just going down the list, we've got the bigger wings, the skeleton wings. I could see people not necessarily wanting these, but I want my Terpiculi to have wings, so we're adding that to the cart. $15, not too bad. Then we've got Borthar Shadowhorn. Again, this is kind of one of those older ones. This is an all-star, so it came out in, I believe it was the very first wave of Mythic Legions. Super old, going for similar to that like 150, pushing 200, maybe even over 200 for this guy. I don't have a dwarf in my collection, but he's a little too plain for me to want to add him. We talked about Clavian. Deacon the horse. If you go back and watch that I think it was something about grown men crying about toy horses or something like that. We talked about switching the deco here from the crosses to the faction Aerithyr logos, and then changing the hood to the helmet. Jordan and I both like this look better. Not everybody agrees with that, but it is what it is. This is the offering that you now have. It's a good looking horse, but you can kind of see I'm running out of room here behind me to display. I've got my storage in the closet. I just don't have the room for a ton of horses, so he's going to be a pass for me, but a good looking horse, and you can take all those soft goods off, and it's the brown horse Balius underneath there. So if you missed out on that, he's going for easily 150 in the aftermarket. I think that's what he was going for when I had one. I sold him, and that was probably 3, 4, 5 months ago now, so he may be even higher than 150, but you can get him for 65 here, plus a ton of soft goods. Gorthok, Shadow Orc. He's got a little bit more accessories. Jordan was a little bit more interested in him. I like the color of his armor. I just don't really have much interest in having a Shadow Orc in my display, so he's a pass for me, but I know a lot of people were really excited about him because, again, as an all-star, he was somebody that was going for a pretty substantial amount in the aftermarket. Then we have Sir Andrew. At first, I was like, oh, good, this one's an easy pass for me. Then we see the back, and he's got kind of like a winged cape. I was like, oh, shoot, this is looking cooler. And then we get into this, and this shot is just exactly what you'd want to see. Like, this one really tempts me. The blue flames on the sword, even the sword itself is, I like this design for the sword. I think the Salarian Guard came with this one as well. Colors are cool. I've got to pick and choose at some point, though, so the heroes are really taking a hit on this pre-order for me. I'm really focusing on mainly the villains here. So he's a pass for me, but really cool. You can take all those soft goods off and you get this just kind of copper-colored knight. These are the Repentant. So we talked a little bit more about that on our show when the wave first came out, so you can go back and listen to that. Good-looking figure. Not going to find his way on my shelf, unfortunately. Maybe down the line when I'm rich and famous, but then we have Sir Enoch. Tons of soft goods here. I like the face sculpt. I like the chainmail. You can switch this out with Sir Elijah, which I do have on pre-order from the Necronominus wave. Look at all this stuff that's coming in here. Hands, a belt, pauldrons, options for what you're going to put on his helmeted head, the unhelmeted head with a chainmail, swappable faceplate, a shield, a mace, dagger, sword, sheaths for both of those weapons. That's a lot packed in that box. This is my favorite look for him right here. So this does tempt me quite a bit, especially with like this silver, gold, red armor combination. I really like that. I think the alternate head that comes with Sir Elijah, I've seen some people do kind of like a digital swap. That looks really cool. He's tempting for sure. We may come back to him at the end. I'm very on the fence. I definitely don't need all these soft goods that he comes with. They're cool, but I just really wouldn't display him like that. He would be looking much more like this on my shelf. So I think he's going to be a pass. 90% sure he's a pass, but I'm going to think about it. We're going to see what the total is at the end of this and come back to him. Sir Ignatius. Now, he's one of the heroes that is going to make it into the cart, so we're adding him. He's the most expensive of the All-Stars. I believe when I looked him up, he was at the $300 mark. So you get kind of this pearlescent white armor. I like the gold and the purple combo. It's not something I would have thought to do by myself, but looks really cool. He's not coming with a ton of accessories because this is one of those like early Mythic Legions, so this is what they used to come with. He's unique enough, though, that I do want him. Kind of the opposite of Borthar Shadowhorn. His armor was kind of plain, so there wasn't really much. He wasn't going to pop on the shelf, but we're going to be adding Sir Ignatius to the pre-order. All right, then Scally Bone Splitter. I said I didn't have a dwarf in my collection. He'll be the first dwarf I spend my money on. Added him to the cart. Let's zoom in a little bit here. I really like the blue armor on him. The beard is cool with that skeleton face. The shoulder pauldrons. He's the standard bone color, so we can swap other things. We can make him, if you wanted him to just be a barbarian skeleton, you could swap his legs out and then boom, he's bigger. Also coming with quite a bit of stuff. Alternate hands, a belt, sword, hammer, axe, pauldrons, double heads, cool dwarf shield. I haven't seen this before. I think it came with somebody. I can't remember who, but this is the first time I've seen it. I don't know if that centerpiece swaps out, kind of like some of the other newer shields, but regardless, cool. The first time we're getting these like spike things on the head, and then it's, I believe, the first time we're getting this head as well. We've had the beard before, but never with like a skull face on there. So those horns are removable. You could swap the horns with those metal parts or with whatever else you have. Get into the shot here. It's a good looking skeleton. He's coming in my collection. Next up, we've got the Skeleton Raider. He comes with maybe the most. And he's a standard price figure, $37. Crazy how much more is in these boxes versus those all-stars you see. They come with maybe a sword, a shield, and maybe a spear. Now you're getting a shield, a sword, a spear, a mace, belt, 2 loincloths, shoulder pauldrons, 2 alternate wrist cuffs, wrist guards. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of alternate hands and 2 alternate heads. That's a lot. And this one, did I add this one to the cart yet? Let me move my face out of the way. 4, I don't think so. So Jordan actually did want this one, so we're out ordering 2 of these, one for me, one for him. Put that in the cart. And then we'll show kind of the options here. So you've got this head, kind of more of the Viking-ish looking head with the mace. And then you've also got this more gladiator looking head. So I don't have this head in my collection at all. Kind of cool, but I think I'm going to be probably posing him with this. And I like that mace too. If you've listened to the show, you know I coach, and the fitness tool I use mainly is the steel mace. So I'm going to see if maybe I can even use this weapon accessory in some like business photo shoot type stuff. Ooh, I wonder if I could count this as like a business expense. Let's try that. See if my accountant allows it. Then the last figure we have Thrasis, the first Risen. I really like his colors here. He was one that when they first showed him, I was torn. I was like, do I want this guy? Maybe, maybe not. The shield looked a little excessive here, not quite what I liked, but then seeing the front view of it, I like it a lot more. The banner I don't necessarily need. I probably won't really display that. Maybe it'll be like a background piece. Tons of extra hands. He's got extra feet. Maybe I'll use the banner, like flip it over and use it as a spear or something like that. I'm sure you can probably pop a different top on there too. The sword, I don't necessarily love these extra little whatever those are at the end of it. But a cool sword. I think it works for him. He looks like the kind of person that would have those extra spikes on his sword. Get that side view with his shield. Get the photography shot. Cool looking character. I'm surprised Jordan didn't want this one, but I do. So he's in my cart. And then last up, we've got the heads pack. So $30 here, and you're getting 2 kind of zombie undead heads. You're getting 3 animal type heads, and then 2 more human-ish. They're not human heads, but we've got a vampire and an orc. I'm most excited about the gorilla head here. I'm probably going to be putting this on my Terpiculi. I got 2 Terpiculi on pre-order. One of them is definitely going to have the gorilla head, and he may be a flying gorilla, and I might put those other wings on him as well. So excited about him. I was watching the live stream, and my wife came in during this portion, and they showed the head swap of the gorilla head on the Terpiculi, and she was like, oh, you've got to get that because I love gorillas. I just got Thane back here from Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. He's the main reason I wanted to collect that line. And then, yeah, cool. You also get the kind of the neck pieces to go with them, and you get this Headless Horseman undead severed head stump. So that's kind of fun. The animal, like lion, is it lion or wolf and lion? I doubt I'll be using these heads too much. Maybe I'll use it on the Terpiculi. These undead heads I probably won't use. So those maybe I'll try to trade for some more demon heads. You can kind of see some of my custom demons over my shoulder here. I want to do some more of those, so maybe I'll use this as trade bait. But the skeleton heads are going to work as kind of diorama pieces. So even though I might not use the lion and wolf heads, I'll definitely have them kind of like at the feet of my legions like I do now behind me as well. A little bit harder to see those because they're so small, but they'll work in dioramas. And then last, oh, that was it. All right. So let's check the pre-order, and then we might come back for Clavian and maybe Sir Enoch. We'll see. Clavian's probably a less likely. Sir Enoch is maybe more likely. We got to see what our total's at here. So remember, $37 of this is Jordan's. I'm going to put in... So we're at $265 right now. That's not too bad. Make sure I've got everything I need. Beardock, Wings, Sir Ignatius, Scally Bone Splitter, Skeleton Raider, one for me, one for Jordan, and then a Thrasis, the First Risen. Okay. So if we add a little bit more, we'd be just over 300. I've got about 450 in my toy funds right now. Let's see what this is going to end up costing us for the shipping. I am not a robot. I'll probably hide the shipping address because it's going to be Jordan's. What is this? I don't want to confirm my shop yet. So I'm using Jordan's address because for some reason Iowa doesn't pay taxes on Mythic Legions. So we only have to pay... Oh, wait, what? They do have taxes on here. Dadgummit. Okay, we'll continue to shipping and maybe it'll take the taxes off because usually it doesn't have taxes on here. Regardless, I got to ship these to Jordan because I'm not going to be living here anymore when these come out next year, but let's see. Okay, continue to shipping. Okay, no, it did take out the taxes. It's going to be about $16 for shipping, which brings us up to $281. Do we want to add another $40 on there to put in Sir Enoch? I could probably sell the soft goods for an easy $10. So really it's only like a $27 figure. He'd look good with Sir Elijah. Folks, I think we probably should, shouldn't we? All right, let's go back and add him to the order. So we're going to close out of this screen. Put me back over here. All right, let's go back up. Is this really everybody? I gotta make sure I don't want, because you don't want to forget anything. I definitely don't need any belts. I'm not getting a horse. I don't need these 3 all-stars. Clavian was on the fence, but we're gonna pass on him. I'm not getting a Sir Andrew. All right, I think that makes sense. Let's add them to the order. All right, let's go back to the cart. Make sure that this doesn't change our shipping drastically. And remember, we got $37 of this as Jordan's, so technically this isn't even all my money. All right, make sure we've got the address in right. None of you guys can see that. Don't need any of you creeps showing up at Jordan's house stealing my Mythic Legions. Looks good. Phone number, address. All right, let's see what the shipping is. It was $16.22, and it stays $16.22. Nice, so I didn't even have to pay any extra to add a Sir Enoch into my order. We'll double check again. I've got Thrasis, the First Risen. I've got 2 Skeleton Raiders. I've got Scally Bone Splitter, Sir Ignatius, Bone wings. Oh, I'm missing the heads pack. Hopefully you guys were screaming at me in the comments. Dakota, you're missing a crucial piece of your pre-order. I was thinking that looked a little too cheap. Go back to shopping. See, that you always got to double check what you're getting here. Add to order. All right, view cart. All right, now we're at $332. That looks more like what I was expecting. Shipping was $16. Let's see if it stays $16. Yes, nice. Shipping is going to be through FedEx. I don't love FedEx, but it's only $2 more to go USPS. But, save the $2. All right, so now we've got a Sir Enoch. We've got a Baradoc. We've got Bone Wings, Sir Ignatius, Scaly Bone Splitter, 2 Skeleton Raiders, Thrasus the First Risen, and 1 Heads Pack. That looks correct. I don't have a gift card. If any of you fine folks want to send me gift cards, I'll take your gift cards. All right, we're going to hide the screen I'm going to just stop sharing just in case. Don't need you guys seeing my credit card information. I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Total ended up being $348.22. So that'll be about $310, something like that for me. I'm pretty happy with that. These are going to be some super cool figures. We're probably going to be on the road when these arrive, so I may have to wait a little bit, let Jordan play with them before I get them in hand. But that is how you get your pre-orders direct from Mythic Legions. So now let me reshare my screen and we will talk how to order them if you're watching this on Monday following the pre-order close. Now that we're sharing screen, you can kind of see where we're going to go. I'm going to go to sourcehorseman.com. We're going to go to About Us, down to Approved Retailers. So this is where you can kind of see who all is allowed to sell Mythic Legions. Lots of options here. Some of them maybe don't have taxes in your area. Some offer free shipping. Some are you pay up front, so you're going to pay whatever the price is of Mythic Legions that you on the day you buy it. Others are going to be pay some now, pay some later. Some are going to be pay later. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. I do a lot of my pre-ordering through Big Bad Toy Store right now just because I'm ordering other lines and they kind of show quite a bit. So with the previous All-Stars 5+, we can see that the standard figure is going to cost about $49.99, like I said, $50. Your horse, $75 for him. The heads pack, I don't know if it would be the same as what was in this wave previously. This one was $45. It might be more because you're getting more heads with the new one. It's kind of hard to tell. Usually you can just kind of expect, the same amount of raise. So like $37 to $50. That's your standard figure. Let's see. Sir Oozjack, was he on this one or the last? Because he's going to be what Baradoc probably costs. So Sir Oozjack is $74.99. I would expect that's what Baradoc is going to cost. And I don't think anyone else from that wave was a different price. The belts pack probably going to be $25 maybe. Kind of in that area. You don't have to go through Big Bad Toy Store. Honestly, you might be able to get better deals from somewhere else. I just have used their site before, so I kind of knew how to quick get to what I was looking for. So feel free to order from any of the approved retailers if you're seeing this after Sunday night. But if you can, it's always best to order directly, or I guess it's not always. If you're international, shipping is usually going to balance itself out to be probably better to order from somebody in your area, just because they're going to be able to get more quantity and it's going to make their shipping less, so you're going to pay less. It depends too. Like, do you want to spend your money now and wait a year for your figures to come out, or do you want to save your money, put it up in the investments? I don't know what the percentages there are. Maybe I could have my wife look into that, but spend your money now, get it a little cheaper, wait longer, or save your money now and then pay a little bit more extra later. You have to do those kind of calculations yourself. Even I've seen some people that will like separate their orders out, because if you put some in this box and some in another shipment, it's actually less shipping, or if you combine everything like Jordan and I just did, and I added 3 figures or 3 items, I think, and it didn't change my shipping. So you can play around with it, see what happens. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this kind of video. I had to get my pre-orders in, so I thought I would enjoy kind of sharing how you do that for you guys. Let me know what you're pre-ordering. Did you pre-order anything from this wave? Do you have Mythic Legions? I hope if you've made it this far, you must have Mythic Legions. They're my favorite line. They're taking over all of my displays back here. Super fun. So anyway, make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. We've got giveaways coming. We need to still get that Spider-Man giveaway done. And then we're going to have another giveaway immediately after that. So that one will probably just be to a random subscriber. So if you want to get in on that, subscribe now before we do that giveaway, because we're already past that 700 subscriber mark, and that's where we're going to do that giveaway. So who knows? We might be at 800 before we do our 700 giveaway. But get subscribed so you're entered in to win that one. But until next time, stay strong.